Hi, this is Mike Fry, and you are listening to the We Effing Told You So podcast. Today is September 12, 2025, and today's installment is Charlie Kirk's killing and the response to it prove the USA is in mental decline. A man who threatened people and advocated for murder gets murdered, and the nation goes batshit crazy. If we need any more evidence that the USA has gone absolutely fucking insane, we only need to look at the recent news about the atrocious killing of Charlie Kirk, an alt-right white supremacist who built a huge following doing things that included promoting the killing of people he disagreed with. He also published hit lists of people he wanted his followers to target that included college professors who made the list simply for being out and gay. Because so many people, shockingly, seem to not know who Kirk was, here is a simple recap. Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA, a group that has grown in size to nearly that of the entire Republican National Committee. Kirk and Turning Point USA have promoted a white nationalist, white supremacist, fundamentalist Christian view since 2012. He has openly called for the killing of gay people. But 'cause he's a good Christian man, he always advocated that these public executions be done in a family-friendly way. And before we go any further, here are some of the other things Kirk promoted throughout his career. In addition to calling for gay people to be stoned to death in family-friendly public executions, he also said that most people are scared if they see a black pilot flying their plane. He said that no black woman has enough cognitive ability to be taken seriously. He said that Taylor Swift should reject feminism and totally submit to her husband. He said that British colonialism is what made the world decent. He said that the guy who tried to kill Nancy Pelosi's husband should be bailed out and treated as a hero. He said that gun deaths were acceptable in order to keep the Second Amendment alive. He said that George Floyd, quote, had it coming, and that the January 6 rioters did not. He said that Muslims only come to America to destabilize and destroy it. We could go on and on. That's just scratching the surface of Kirk's decades-long attack on people and public discourse in general. Yet following his atrocious killing, note now that we've called his killing atrocious at least twice and are pointing that out for those of you who will want to take our words out of context to suggest that we're condoning his killing, which we most definitely are not. Anyway, yet following his atrocious killing, the corporate media world wants to pretend that his actual history is not, his actual history. And that history actually matters, because without it, the media ends up lionizing the man and his message of hate and violence, even as they clutch their pearls about the violence turned against him. You cannot, with any self-respect, say that political violence is not acceptable while also making a martyr out of someone whose entire political career was built on stoking it and victimizing others. Matthew Dowd, a conservative political pundit who worked for the Bush-Cheney administration, was fired by MSNBC for simply pointing out the obvious fact that Kirk's own hate speech is likely what made him a target. Say that simple, honest truth in today's media landscape and you're fired, because we live in a world where apparently saying basic fact is unacceptable. MSNBC President Rebecca Cutler released a statement about Dowd's firing that read in part, quote, "During our breaking news coverage of the shooting of Charlie Kirk, Matthew Dowd made comments that were inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable. We apologize for his statements, as has he. There is no place for violence in America, political or otherwise." Cutler wrote. Remember, Dowd's only comment was to point out that Kirk promoted hate speech, which is an obviously factual statement, which is also apparently too much for MSNBC to handle. Meanwhile, the regime currently in the White House is treating Kirk like he is a legitimate head of state or something, with VP J.D. Vance flying out to Utah to accompany Kirk's body home, thereby promoting Kirk's message of hate and violence even more. You cannot, with any sense of rational thought, both lionize a man whose whole career was promoting political violence while also claiming there is no place for violence in politics. The cognitive dissonance and crazy-making of it all shows just how fucking lost the USA has become. Try watching the coverage of Kirk's killing after learning a bit about his history and see if you can keep your lunch down. If you can't, we'll just say, we effing told you so.